Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Next Goal Wins. Today we're talking about a game that happened last night between Tottenham and Leicester City, which sent Leicester back to joint top of the Premier League table alongside Arsenal, who drew against Liverpool 3-3. Now, the game was one of those games that sums up kind of the season we're having and seasons that teams have, like Man United used to have in the early 2000s, Liverpool had in the 80s, teams like Chelsea had in 2004, 2005, but games where you don't play well, you end up winning 1-0. Now, Leicester never get those games. Look at our Bournemouth game. We didn't really play that well, missed a penalty, ended up drawing 0-0, but that is a good point now on the back of this 1-0 win. Games that you win unexpectedly make the points that you drop unexpectedly worthwhile. I mean, that's a point picked up now rather than a point lot of 2 points lost because we beat Tottenham. Now, the game, Tottenham dominated really at the start. We couldn't keep hold of a ball. We looked very, very, very one-dimensional. And to be honest, we looked one-dimensional the whole game. I'm not going to say anything else. I'm not going to say I thought we played brilliantly. I thought we played quite poorly in the game. It looked like we had one idea. Albrighton again had a poor game. He's been poor for a few weeks now, and this game was no different. For him, it seems like the ball's a hot potato. Every time it comes to him, he tries to get it away first time. Now, I'm not sure if that's instructions from Claudio or if that's just Albrighton doing that off his own back. And it's almost like he feels like, oh, well, I've got to chip it over back to Vardy to run onto because that's all we've got. And I mean, Mahrez didn't really get involved in the game at all. Mahrez didn't have a lot of the balls to dribble inside. Didn't really get a chance to stamp his mark on the game. All he did was win a few free kicks. He did look quite dangerous when he got the ball, but I mean, he's our most creative player. Drinkwater last night got good ratings in the papers, but for me, didn't have a really good game. Looked like he controlled the game at stages, but at other stages looked flimsy and lost the ball. And Conte didn't have his best game either, giving the ball away in silly areas. There was one pass especially across the pitch that he tried to do, which was just terrible and set up an attack. So there were a lot of chances in this game where things could have gone wrong for us, and things nearly did go wrong for us. I mean, Dele Alli had a shot just from outside the box which Kasper had to save, and their key moment of the game, Harry Kane got set through in the second half. He's in one-on-one with Schmeichel. You're thinking guaranteed goal. If anyone's going to score, it's going to be Kane, the man who's done it all season for Tottenham and all of last season for Tottenham. But no, Schmeichel makes himself big, good save. It has to bounce in one spot really to bounce up and hit the crossbar. It does just that. Gets his bottom half of his arm underneath it, goes up, hits the crossbar. Score stays 0-0, and when it's 0-0, anything can happen in football. We know that. We've seen that throughout the years, and it happened in this game because in the 86th minute, we won a corner. We had quite a few corners in this game. Now, as much as the media say we score all from set pieces and we're dangerous from set pieces, any Leicester fan will know that set pieces we hardly ever score from, and corners especially. It's so rare that we'll score from a corner, and we often defend corners terribly. I mean, if you get a lot of corners against us, we're likely to concede. But last night, Tottenham had 16 corners against us. Most we've conceded all season, and we held them out. We didn't let them score one of them. So that's really encouraging signs that it must be something we're working on in the training ground. Even there was a corner we took in the first half, which was played short to Drinkwater on the edge, who kind of had a shot away, which looked like it was worked on the training ground. So it looks like we're actually working on set pieces in the training ground for the first time in a while. But anyway, back to my original point, but at the 86th minute, we win a corner. Conte does a nice bit of work in the corner flag, bumbled out by Dele Alli. Fuchs whips it in left-footed. Few Tottenham players fall over in the box. Who's there at the back post? The big German, Robert Huth, with an absolute bullet header. As Alan Shearer said, he just did the classic, plant your feet, arch your neck muscles and smash back into the net. Unbelievable header. It was perfect from about, 12 yards out maybe, 13, 14 yards out, wherever it was. Headed it straight back across goal to where it came from. Top corner, over a jumping Tottenham player, into the top bin. The crowd go hysterical, and the atmosphere was incredible when the goal went in. What a special moment it was for us, because we weren't expecting to win this game at any point really. I thought, I'm happy with a draw, really. I'm not going to lie to you, I was happy with a draw at that stage. But then we score that goal and it's just eruption of scenes from the travelling fans. And when we hold out, Tottenham never really looked dangerous after that. We sat quite deep. Ulloa came off the bench and for me gives the ball away too much, especially against Bournemouth. He was terrible. But when he came on, he did it. He did what he was there to do. He held the ball up quite well and relieved us of pressure quite a few times. So I think Ulloa did well when he came off the bench. Okazaki the same. He gives the ball away too much for me. But in this game, he must have got confidence from that goal at Tottenham on Sunday, I should say. So he looked like quite good. He held the ball up quite well. Vardy, I'm not sure if he's still recovering from injury, or it's purely because against the bigger teams, they're not going to let Vardy have that amount of room, because Vardy was really ineffective in this game, didn't really get much of the ball, didn't have a lot to do, a lot like Mahrez. And that really shows the credentials of this team, that Vardy didn't have any of the ball really, didn't really do anything. Mahrez didn't really create anything, and we still won 1-0, and that's really a great sign for us. Obviously we've scored 2 corners against Tottenham in a row. Tottenham best defence in the Premier League statistically. We've kept 3 clean sheets in a row now after not keeping one for such a long period of time. So our defence, I've been saying all season, anyone who watches these videos week in, week out will know and will back me up on this. I've been saying all season, but it's so misleading, that stat about how many goals we'd conceded, 20 odd. You can't finish that high if you concede that many goals, because we conceded them in patches and early on in the season when we still picked up points from games. We never really lost those games, apart from the Arsenal one. We didn't lose a game that we conceded more than 2 goals in, and even the Liverpool one was only 1-0. So that really sums up that the goals we conceded didn't matter as much, and obviously in recent weeks we haven't let any in, which is why we've got points and now a massive win in Tottenham. It's amazing that we've won both games in Tottenham. Leicester so historically poor in Tottenham. We've obviously beaten West Ham already at Upton Park this season on a bowling ground, and we've beaten Tottenham at White Hart Lane. It's so rare that we win in London. Could we beat Arsenal in London? Could we get the massive table-topping 6 points? And that's something we've got to talk about, where we are now. 21 games gone, 43 points. We surpassed our total for last season in this game. Obviously we're safe now. We are definitely safe. Obviously 40 points might keep you safe, but I'm sure we'll be 100% safe on 43 points, even if all our players get food poisoning and can never play again and we have to forfeit to the end of the season. We'll stay up in this position we're in now. But realistically, where can we go from here? Where can we push on from here? Now, if this Tottenham result is anything to go by, where you don't play well and you still get the win, I mean, the sky's the limit, really. It really is. Champions League, now we're so kind of far clear of some of the teams who are going to be pushing for it, for Liverpool and stuff. It's going to take 2 or 3 games for us to pick up no points and for them to win them all, to overturn the deficit that's already there. We're in an unbelievably strong position at the moment. Obviously, we've got to keep the ball rolling. We've got Villa away this weekend. That becomes almost a must-win now. It's expected to win before, but now it's almost a must-win because we want to keep the ball rolling. Vardy hopefully will be back to full fitness, because he didn't really look it in this game at Tottenham. We'll have the same strength team out, I'd imagine. I'd like to see Demarai Gray come in for Albrighton, I'll be honest. I don't think Albrighton has justified his starting place in recent weeks. His work rate is, you can't begrudge his work rate. He works hard for the team, probably harder than Gray would work, but he doesn't offer me anything going forward in recent weeks. His crossing's been poor, and that's what he's there for. But, if Ranieri keeps him there for his work rate, we ended up winning the game against Tottenham, so who am I to complain, Claudio? Now for my player ratings, I'm going to give Schmeichel a 7. I think Schmeichel had a very good game. Made the saves, but his distribution and his kicking was atrocious. His kicking, every kind of kick went out of bounds. I don't know if it's something Ranieri's told him to do, to kick it as close to a touchline as possible, but his distribution in recent years has been his best feature of his game, and it was terrible in this game. Simpson, I'm going to give a 7-2 as well. I thought Danny had a very good game. Underrated game. Not a lot of people talked about him, but I think he was exceptionally solid. On the other side, Christian Fuchs, I'm going to give a 7-2 as well. I think Fuchs had a very, very solid game. Now, my 2 centre-halves, Huth and Morgan, I'm both going to give 8s to. Both of them could have been man of the match. I've gone for Robert Huth, but both of them could have been man of the match. Morgan is just an exceptional defender. On Radio Leicester after the game, Ranieri said he was the biggest surprise really this season. Morgan coming in, he didn't know a lot about him, and we know about Wes. We know what he can do. He got so much criticism last season. I didn't like that. I said in my videos at the start of the season, I don't think Morgan should get the criticism he gets, and for me, thankfully, he's putting in good captain's performances to keep us near the top of the table and to keep the fans off his back, the fans who might have been out there last season laying into Wes a bit too much. Now for my midfield, I'm going to give Drinkwater a 6. Again, good moments of the game. That shot he had, good pass for Conte when he was through. but not a vintage Drinkwater performance that people have been saying about this season. So 6 for me. Conte the same, 6. One of his poorest performances for us, really. But, you know, you get a poor performance and we still end up winning the game. That's fine by me. Mahrez, 6. Made no impact on the game. Didn't have a lot of the ball. Didn't have much to do. Albrighton, I'm going to give a 4-2. Albrighton had another poor game. I'm not sure what his ratings are going to be. If anyone wants to do that, the average rating for him in these last 4 games, but it's dropped off significantly. He's been poor for weeks now. And it's something that we either need to look at and work out why he's doing it, or Ranieri to stop telling him to flick the ball on as fast as he can. Vardy, I'm going to give a 6-2. Maybe, I mean, I could have given a 5 just because he had no impact on the game. Really didn't do much, but, you know, his work rate, again, gets him up to the 6. Okazaki, I'm going to give a 7-2. Now, it's a bit of a strange one, but I felt like Okazaki wanted it a bit more tonight. He showed like he was fighting for his place in the starting lineup. Obviously, with the news about Kramaric, but he's not in contention really for a starting place. So Ulloa and Okazaki look like they're fighting for that place. And who I'm going to talk about next, Ulloa, I'm going to give him a 7 as well, because I think when he came on, he looked like he wanted it more. They both looked like they were playing for their place in the starting lineup. King came on, did alright. I'm going to give Kingy a 6. Didn't think he put a foot wrong, really. So all in all, it was a brilliant, brilliant win. Away at White Hart Lane. What a win it was. Thank God we got it under the belt. It was nerve-wracking at times. It was the hardest thing to watch. I mean, I tweeted Radio Leicester. It got read out on Radio Leicester. I put, Leicester City are the most frustrating and the most joyful thing to watch in the whole world. And I wouldn't change it for anything, and that stays true to me. I wouldn't change it for anything. I love being a Leicester City fan, and I'm sure at the moment all of you do too. Please like the video for another Leicester City win. Will this ball keep on rolling to the end of the season? Who knows? We've got Aston Villa away this weekend. Massive game. Let's pick up the 3 points. Let's move on. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think the score will be in that game, and any comment about the Tottenham game. And please subscribe to never miss any content about Leicester City, whether it's previews, reviews, or any Leicester City related news. Come on, you foxes. Let's beat the Villa.